What's up, Buttercups? Welcome to another video for our weekly mugs. So today we're going to be talking about mug number 2. We're going to take notes on other apostrophe rules. Last time you and I got together, we talked about the basic rules of possession when it comes to apostrophes because the number one role that apostrophes play in grammar is to indicate possession. But there are other special rules that also kind of apply to apostrophes. But before we get to the notes themselves, please make sure that your notebook sheet of paper, you should have a fresh sheet of notebook paper. Don't write on the back of the first one even if you still have the back side empty. Start with a fresh sheet. Every single mug should be on its own new paper. Remember, your first and last name, the date, and the period should go in every corner of the right-hand corner of every notebook page. And the header should also be filled in. So in case you missed out on the title just a second ago, mug number 2, our header for today should say something like, Mug number 2, other apostrophe rules. Please make sure to specify what our mug notes are always going to be about. Don't just write down mug 1 or mug number 2 and then move on to the notes. Give yourself, your future self, a snippet or a brief overview of what you're about to take notes on. The more details you can include in your title, the better, because when you're cramming for a study or for a test or anything like that, you don't want to waste your time reading through the notes to find the information you need. So the important stuff should be in the title itself. And without further ado, let's talk about other apostrophe rules. So, apostrophe rules regarding names. I know it seems pretty straightforward to simply add on the apostrophe S, but what do you do when a person's name ends in S? Well, when we're dealing with one single person's name ending in S, we would just add on the apostrophe S. I know it looks really, really gross, but it works. Dallas's purse is really heavy. There's one person named Dallas, and she's the one possessing this purse. Purse belongs to Dallas, so to indicate that possession, we're going to add an apostrophe S. Here we go. Mr. Jones's laptop stopped working in the middle of class. There's only one Mr. Jones. The laptop belongs to Mr. Jones. To indicate that, we'd use the apostrophe S outside of his last name. When dealing with a last name that ends in S, but also refers to multiple people. So we're talking about a group of people by that name. For example, the name Roberts. First thing that we need to do, the word Roberts, like Mr. Roberts or like Mr. Jones, only refers to one individual. First thing that we need to do is to make it plural. And to make a name that ends in S plural, we add on an ES. And then to indicate possession, we add on the apostrophe outside. So here, the Roberts' car is very luxurious. We're talking about the car belonging to a family of Robertses. Like I said already, the first step is to pluralize the name from Roberts to Robertses. You have to add on the ES. Then, to indicate possession, you put the apostrophe on the outside. If there's anything that we're talking about today that's confusing to you or that you want me to slow down or work on some examples with you before we do any class activities, please let me know. I know this can be a little tricky to understand. So that is the apostrophe rules regarding names ending in S. Other rules and exceptions. When apostrophes are not being used to indicate possession, we are also using them for contractions like will or we're or it's, hasn't, should've, wouldn't have, would've. Here, I'm going to have so much fun that they'll be jealous. We have contractions of I plus am, which creates I'm, and then they plus will, which creates they'll. Over here, wouldn't have. We have would and not and have. In professional writing, you want to refrain from using contractions. But in your everyday language, in your everyday reading and writing, you are going to see contractions and use contractions. We also use apostrophes when not indicating possession in place of numerals omitted from a year. So, for example, the blackout of '04 made people realize the true value of electricity. So we're taking out the 2000 or the 20 in front of in the year 2004 and just shortening it to '04. To show that there have been numbers omitted, we're going to add on the apostrophe there. We do not use apostrophes to make dates plural. So like the roaring 1920s, we do not use an apostrophe there. And that is all we have today for apostrophes. You already saw a sneak peek at our next mug. So next week we'll be talking a little bit about commas. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions about apostrophes or anything that we've gone over, either in mug 1 notes or mug 2, please do let me know. See you on Monday.